Good morning, team. This is a data analytics task, and we are trying to apply a data set that is given about cardiovascular disease on machine learning algorithm. Okay, so this is basic detail related to the data set and what kind of activity we are performing. Okay, so as a part of performing data analytics, before we use the data that is available, means the raw form of data that is available, it is very important to prepare data before we perform analysis. Why we prepare data? Because we want to reduce if any issues, if any problems that are existing persist in data set that is given, and to improve the quality of the outcome, we are supposed to perform data preparation activities. Okay, so there is a modeling called CRISP modeling that is applied in this area, and we describe what kind of activities we do. These all are data preparation activities. As a part of this data preparation activity, what we do is mentioned over here, and how we do is mentioned over here. Okay, you can cross-check CRISP modeling data preparation, and you can find some proper detailing related to it in this document. Let me show you. So this is the link from where I got this information. You can read from here, or you can search, like you try to search for a book on Google Books. Okay, so using this we will be doing. So there are 6 phases of data cleaning, data preparation, and each activities have a certain purpose. You are supposed to explain what kind of activities we are going to use and how they are applied to achieve a better data after completing this document. For example, if you see, so this is the data set that is given. Okay, it contains this contains various columns like age, anemia, creatine, diabetes, high blood pressure, platelets. So some details. Okay, so there is a possibility that in this column, in some areas, maybe like this value might be missing. Okay, this is what called missing values. Okay, this place should be replaced with the proper value to ensure that data is properly, to ensure that quality of the data is enhanced. For example, when we take complete data set, there will be an average value. So when we give, if we give some kind of average value of the total, like for this one, for example, when we calculate average for these values, if we got 20, we can replace missing values with 20. So this will not impact the values, but it helps us to improve the quality of the performance, because when these values, if this column contains 40 values and if this column contains 39 values, it is not possible to perform proper analysis on the data. So we need to handle missing values. We are supposed to format the data. So there are a lot of activities that we perform. That is a simple example that I mentioned. So what I want you to do is like just try to understand this concept and how these steps can be used in preparing data should be explained. Okay, so this table contains everything. Only thing is like you are supposed to read something about these facts and these activities and understand what these concepts means. Aggregate. What do you mean by handling missing value? What do you mean by deleting duplicates or dealing with duplicates, dealing with outliners in that way? Okay, so need not to mention everything. So make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas are there, right? For each section, try to write maximum 100 words. That's it. Okay, so just read about data cleaning, read about data integration, data transformation, data reduction, data discretion, and feature engineering. Speak about these steps, and it is not mandatory that you are supposed to write all the 6 areas. Select any 5, 4. Something like that, not a problem. Okay, use any 4 preparation activities and discuss about them. That is fine. So as a conclusion, like for task one, what you do is like you will be explaining what are the data preparation activities that you are going to use, and you speak about these activities by giving as a subheading of this name, and you explain what kind of activities you perform on that. So simple. So coming to the next task, it is asked like considering the given data set, explain what types of machine learning algorithm you will be required to predict mortality by heart failure. Okay, please state at least 2 machine learning algorithms. So we are supposed to explain a little machine learning algorithms that we can apply on the given case study. So the given case is this information, and this is the target variable. So every time I speak about target variable, right? So target variable means so the variable that gets influenced because of various factors. If you take a person, these are his characteristics. Okay, these are independent values, and this is dependent on these values. It means like, for example, if a person is having high blood pressure, the possible it could cause a death. It means this factor influences the target or dependent factor. Okay, this is a dependent factor on high blood pressure. High blood pressure is an independent variable. Okay, it continuously changes. Like maybe if I check my BP now, it might be some x by y. Now maybe after a few seconds, a few minutes, it will be changing. So independent variable, it continuously changes or it continuously maintains a constant value. But whatever it is, like the kind of impact blood pressure will have on death will be explained by establishing relationship between these two things. So we say that this is a dependent variable and these all are independent variables. Okay, based on the values available here. So all these values, considering all these values for these factors, collectively explains whether death can be happened or not. Okay, so these factors are independent variables that are very important to decide whether death happens or not. Okay, so so I guess you understood, right? These are independent variables. They randomly change their values. Okay, so they are not dependent on death. So now, if you take death event based on these values, if you have high BP, there's a possibility of death occurrence. If you have a very low number of platelets, the possibility of death occurring is there. Like serum creatine, if creatine is high, low, some kind of impact will be there on death event. Okay, so this is how we are supposed to understand. So all these factors are influencing the death event. So now let us cross check how this death event is classified. So is that a random number value, or it is a binary value which have 1, 0, only 2 values are occurring. So based on which you will be deciding what type of data is to be, machine learning algorithm is to be applied. If you cross check this one, it got binary values. Okay, it can take only 2 values, 1 or 0. It speaks about classification. There are 2 types of data available, and one type of data is death occurrence, second type of data is non-death occurrence. So this whole data can be classified into 2. One is based on the death occurring, and the other one is based on non-death occurring. Okay, so these 2, we can say that it is appropriate to use classification algorithms, because the data is the target variable is depending on target variable is a binary value, and it can hold only 2 types of data. So it is better to use classification data. So like if we have a variable decision yes or no, like maybe only 2 variables that speaks about cat or dog, some examples there. So based on such values, when we have only 2 values for the target column, target variable, we definitely use classification algorithms. Okay, so now what I want you to do is like you just select any 2 among these classifications. Okay, any 2 among these classifications, and say that it is appropriate to use these 2 methods, and you are supposed to justify your answer. Okay, your justification, answer justification is that it is important to use classification algorithm because your target variable is having only two values. So that is your justification. Next, you are supposed to justify based on the advantages or benefits of using the classification algorithm that you are using. So if we say that, so when you start working on this document, you say that the classification type of algorithms are supposed to be used in this approach. Then select two algorithms, logistic regression or some XYZ. Explain each algorithm in 100 words. Then you come down and explain. After explaining the algorithms, you try to speak about the best things. What are the advantages of these algorithms? Then you justify based on the advantages. Okay, so let me make it simple. I guess I'm making you confused. So start this task by explaining that we're considering the given case study, as the given case study is containing a classification type of data set, it is appropriate to use classification algorithms. So some of the important classification algorithms are XYZ. Okay, so now you speak like according to the analysis or according to your research, you say that like any two among these algorithms are better to use. Now explain each algorithm, and after explaining each algorithm, explain benefits of the algorithms, each algorithm. Okay, so that makes your document complete. Okay, it is 300-word content. So give some basic information, then explain each algorithm and their advantages. So start introducing the concept, speaking about data set and what type of algorithm is appropriate. Then explain explain selected algorithm, first selected algorithm and its benefits. Next, second selected algorithm and its benefits. So that's it. That is the task. Okay. So try to fix it as quick as possible.